Hello, bienvenidas. Hola, buenas tardes. I'm Hillary Walsh. Soy Hillary Walsh, la abogada de New Frontier Immigration Law, Nuevo Frontera Immigration Law in Phoenix, Arizona. I am with the one and only fabulous Sara Ruiz. Estoy con la solamente Sara Ruiz. Is that right, Sarah?
Sí, la única.
La única, okay. Which is so close to unique as well. I'm super happy to be here. I see people are already watching, and today we have a really exciting topic. So muchísimas gracias in advance for your help.
Sí, bueno, no necesito traducir tanto, la abogada ya está aprendiendo español, entonces muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy. Tenemos un tema súper interesante, pero también muy importante.
Sí, es verdad. Okay, so Sarah, a few weeks ago I was flying and I saw notices. Well, actually it was last weekend because last weekend was it last weekend? The weekend before last was my birthday. I turned 25 again and I went to Las Vegas and I was in the airport and all over the airport were these signs saying, don't forget, you need to get your real ID. And I thought, crap, I have got to get my real ID because this law was passed previously. And then during COVID, they've delayed it. And soon I'm not going to be able to get on an airplane. And we're going to talk about how I'm not going to be able to get on an airplane and millions of Americans and immigrants and undocumented immigrants won't be able to fly or drive. So we're all going to be in trouble really soon. So this video is to talk about how you can prevent that.
Exacto. Hace más o menos 2 semanas fue el cumpleaños de la abogada. Ella se dirigía a Las Vegas y en el aeropuerto pudo ver muchos señalamientos hablando sobre el ID, la identificación real. Ella recordó que no había hecho ese cambio y como esta ley, el acto de la identificación real, que ya ha pasado, pero que fue retrasada por el COVID, pronto va a entrar en vigor y si ella no hace su actualización, ella, millones de estadounidenses, millones de inmigrantes y también personas sin documentos no van a poder manejar o volar. Entonces, este tema de hoy es muy importante. Entonces, por favor, háganos saber si tiene dudas, pero por favor, ponga mucha atención.
Okay, perfecto, gracias. Okay, so the Real ID Act is basically creating a federal identification card. So, hola Lucy Moreno, hola, buenas tardes. Hola. Okay, so the Real ID Act is a federal identification card that's different than a passport, than a US passport. With my US passport, I will be able to fly. So I will just have to travel with that everywhere because it's a federally issued identification. But for all of the people who do not have a US passport, like my mom and dad are US citizens, but they don't have a passport. Hola, Daniel, what's up? ¿Qué tal? And then for all the people who are in the United States, our clients in particular, who perhaps only have a driver's license and they've always been able to fly and drive in the United States with a state driver's license issued by California or Utah or Arizona or Kansas, wherever, that ID isn't going to work. You have to have a special seal on the new ID. And if you don't have it, you will not be able to get on a plane anywhere in the United States. So you're really going to be stuck.
Así es, prontamente esta ley federal dice que vas a necesitar una identificación que te va a dar el gobierno federal. Si tú hasta este momento has tenido una licencia de conducir dada por el estado, Utah, California, esa te ha ayudado a manejar y a viajar. Sin embargo, esto está a punto de cambiar. Las personas que tienen un pasaporte americano, ellos sí van a poder volar porque es el mismo tipo de identificación, es dada por el Estado federal. Sin embargo, si una persona estadounidense no tiene su pasaporte, no tiene la ID real, y si las personas sin documentos no cuentan con este sello en su licencia de conducir, de ahora, de esta fecha que les vamos a mencionar en adelante, no van a poder viajar ni siquiera dentro de los Estados Unidos.
Okay, perfect. So the one of the things I think not enough immigrants know, especially immigrants who've been here for a long time and they haven't had status, is that you can fly anywhere in the US. You can fly, if you are in Arizona and you want to fly to New York City and go run around and enjoy the cold weather in New York right now, or you want to go skiing in Colorado, or you want to go lay on the beach in California, but you don't want to drive because you have to go through the agricultural checkpoint, you don't have a driver's license, you can fly anywhere. You can fly to Hawaii and go see Fiona, one of the people who works at the firm. But you won't be able to without this thing. So your liberty in the United States, your freedom to travel, is about to be put to an end.
Así es, hasta este momento muchas personas que no tienen un estatus legal, documentos, no saben que el día de hoy pueden viajar a muchos lugares, pueden viajar a la playa en California, pueden ir a Nueva York a ver una obra, pueden ir a esquiar a Colorado, pueden visitar a nuestra colaboradora Fiona en Hawái. Hasta este momento las personas pueden hacer esto. Sin embargo, tristemente, la libertad de viajar dentro de los Estados Unidos, la libertad de conocer nuevos lugares, está por terminar con esta nueva ley.
Okay, gracias, Sarah. So when people ask, and when I was going through the airport and I saw all those signs that said, you're not going to be able to fly, you will not be able to get on this airplane. I think that if you're someone who never gets on an airplane, maybe this isn't a big deal for you. But if you're someone who wants to go anywhere and you don't want to live limited, then this is really important because your state driver's license is not going to cut it.
Exacto. Mientras la abogada veía todos estos anuncios en el aeropuerto que decían específicamente, si no obtienes tu identificación real, no vas a poder abordar este avión. Ella pensaba en que, bueno, si a ti no te gusta viajar, no te interesa esa actividad, está bien, no pasa nada. Sin embargo, si tú eres alguien que por mucho tiempo ha querido conocer otros lugares, si quieres llevar a la universidad a tu hijo, si quieres celebrar una boda de un conocido en algún lugar y necesitas viajar, esto es importante para ti. Y si por cierto tiempo has tenido una licencia de conducir del estado, esto no va a ser suficiente. Necesitas una identificación real.
Yes, thank you so much, Sarah. So a big question people have is, okay, well, what counts? If a regular state driver's license without that special seal on it doesn't count, what does? Okay, I see that someone's asking a question. Hola, Francis. How are you? And I see that you speak English, so I don't know why I'm speaking in Spanish to you. But it says, can I ask a question? Yeah, this is a great question. Okay, so Francis, what's up? Thank you so much for your question. We're going to do a little sidebar, Sarah, because I want to get to that. But Francis is asking, someone got deported using someone else's social security number and they got a 10-year bar. Can I still fix his papers in the US? And the answer is yes. So yes, maybe is the answer. I'm going to lawyer this because it's annoying, but lawyers always say it depends, and that's because it does. So thank you for being patient with me because I don't want to give you like the easy button that's not accurate. So I'm going to give you like a general sense of hope. And the general sense of hope is there are lots of different ways that you can help fix, even if you've been deported, even if you've used someone else's social security number, even if you've had a false claim to US citizenship, and even if you re-entered after all of that without permission. We're able to help people with that through a very special process called a T visa. A U visa, in some cases, might help you overcome, especially if there's a false claim. And thank you for the further context that that's his first time to get deported. And those would be the main ways that we can help people. VAWA may also be able to help depending on the circumstances, but that is the short answer is we have options. I always joke, I don't know, Francis, if you've been to the Cheesecake Factory. When you go to the Cheesecake Factory and it's like 800 pages, the menu is so long. In this moment, you don't have a long menu for this person, perhaps your husband or your family member. But the beauty is you have a menu of options, plural, that we happen to be really good at. So you got the house special, the catch of the day, and the chef's favorite thing. So you have those things as your options, and you should give us a call right now. Sarah, are you able to tell me what the phone number is for the firm again? I have it here actually.
Sí, the phone number, Frances, is 480-680-8380.
Okay, I put it in the chat as well, Francis. So thank you. Hi, thank you for your question. And give me a call because we can help get you in for a consultation. We call it a strategy session because we really need to strategize about how to help you and your loved one sort this problem out. Every problem has a solution. So let's just figure out what it is, okay? Thank you. And Daniel has a question as well. And this is about the Real ID Act. Daniel, hola, ¿cómo está? And it says, pero si puedes viajar en el carro sin en Real ID.
Yeah, that he's asking if you can still travel by car without a real ID.
So the answer is yes, you can drive, but you will not be able to get on a plane. So you'll be able to drive. It's just, this is a trend we're going to see. Every state is going to transition to Real ID only. This is my prediction. It's for what it's worth. Thank you so much, Francis. But my prediction is that every state is going to transition to having these as requirements because they're alleging that there's a lot of voter fraud. And that's kind of like what's at the base of this is they're wanting to make sure that people are who they say they are. And at the federal level, it's easier to monitor that versus the state level where each state has its own requirements. And so every state's going to transition to this because it's a federal requirement. They're going to have it's just going to be the baseline. So if you have like an old driver's license from California, I think in the next 5 years, those are not going to be valid. You're going to have to get a new style of driver's license with these additional documents. Everywhere is tightening things up. It is very challenging for people who perhaps got your driver's license while you had some form of status, and then now you don't have that anymore, or the rules changed. It's just a constant struggle. So yes, you can still drive with this for now. But what we want to do is tee you up for success so you can live free, not just drive free.
Exacto. La abogada explica la pregunta de Daniel que sí se va a poder manejar, sin embargo, no se va a poder volar. Y lo que empieza a suceder o la predicción que ella tiene es que todas estas leyes federales se van a empezar a aplicar en todos lados, porque, bueno, ellos argumentan que hay mucho fraude a la hora de votar y que es necesario que sepamos quién es verdaderamente la persona. Entonces, ella predice que todas estas leyes se van a empezar a aplicar en todos los estados. Entonces, si usted tiene una licencia de conducir que le dieron en California o que le dieron mientras estaba esperando algún proceso, en los próximos 5 años, desafortunadamente, esa licencia ya no va a ser suficiente. Aquí en New Frontier lo que queremos hacer es ayudarle a que no solo maneje libre, sino que viva libre. Entonces, obtener un estatus, un número de seguridad social nos va a ayudar a obtener todos estos beneficios y a quedar libre de todas estas leyes que la abogada predice se van a empezar a aplicar a nivel federal y se van a hacer cada vez más difíciles.
Gracias. Yeah, is Little Liberty, would that be librita?
Libertad.
No, like if it was just a tiny bit of liberty, a tiny little bit of freedom.
Un poco de libertad.
Okay, no, it's not libertita.
Es
I'm making up my own Spanish, apparently. Okay, gracias. So how can we get a document? So how do I know if what I have is going to work? And the easy answer is, does it show you're a U.S. citizen? If so, then you have a real ID. That's sufficient. U.S. Birth certificate, and really a U.S. passport is going to be the main thing to show that you are good to go. You don't need to worry about this. But if you're like most people, I always use my mom and dad as like the most common person because they don't keep a passport constantly renewed. They get a passport if and when they're going to go. Usually they go to Mexico if they're going to go anywhere because it's amazing. So they are not, my mom, like I'm having this conversation, this exact same conversation with my mom and dad. That way, when they want to, they can fly out to see me out here in Arizona. They can fly from Kansas. They're not going to be able to get on a plane with their expired passport. I'm fortunate. I have a U.S. military ID as a dependent because my husband's in the Air Force. So that military ID will work. My husband's military ID will work. That's because it's issued federally. If you have a border crossing card that's not expired, that will also work. It's been issued by the federal government. But if it's by estado de wherever, the state of Arizona, the state of California, whatever, and it doesn't have the special seal, it's not going to work.
Exacto, la abogada va a tener esta conversación con sus papás porque a pesar de ser ciudadanos, ellos no renuevan su pasaporte, solo lo usan para viajar a México porque es increíble, pero ella va a tener esta conversación porque ella quiere que sigan visitándola, entonces si ellos quieren volar de Kansas a Phoenix, si no tienen ese pasaporte no lo van a poder hacer, esto aplica para todas las personas ciudadanas. La abogada como esposa militar, ella tiene una identificación que le dio el gobierno federal, ella va a poder usar eso. Su esposo, que es un militar, también tiene parte de la Fuerza Aérea, también tiene una identificación que le dio el Estado federal. Si tú tienes una crossing card que no está expirada, esa también te va a ayudar a viajar. Sin embargo, fuera de estas identificaciones, como por ejemplo las licencias de conducir del Estado que no tienen el sello de ID real, esas no va a ser posible seguir utilizándolas.
Gracias, Sarah. So, Sarah, do you have a border crossing card or is it just a stamp in your passport?
Depende, cada tiempo las cambian. Every time they change it, but right now I have a border crossing card.
Okay, perfect. So you would be able to do it. Perfect. And when you have your passport too, but okay, anyway. So how do I get a real ID act or get a real ID? The main way that you're going to get a real ID is to go through the DMV process. Like you're getting a new driver's license essentially, but you're going to have to present stuff to show who you are and why you ought to get the real ID. So that's going to be things like your US passport, your birth certificate, your if you're a lawful permanent resident, your residency card. If you're in removal proceedings, you are able to get a real ID. If you have deferred action, like you've done VAWA, for example, through us, and we've been able to get you deferred action. So you're never, well, I don't want to say never, but you are not going to get deported because you have deferred action. All of those are ways for us to help you get this real ID. So you can just live the good life, live the free life, and travel when you want to travel. You know, so many of our clients have kids who are going to college. They're like, I'm the first kid in my family to go to college. Sarah, I think all of your siblings have been to college because you're super educated. And a lot of our clients, you know, their kids are going away to college and they're not staying in their home city. And when gas is $5, $10 a gallon, it makes so much more sense to fly. And if you want to fly for a weekend to go see your kids, if you want to go to that graduation, but you can't get on a plane, this is not the time to put this off because you don't have something now. This is the time to figure out how can I do this now because I want to have the freedom to choose where I want to go later. And that's why deferred action is such a great option, whether it's DACA, through VAWA, or these other opportunities, even if you don't need a work authorization card because you're self-employed. This is a way for you to live free.
Exacto. ¿Cómo podemos obtener una identificación real? Bueno, esto va a ser a partir de probar que tú eres quien eres. Esto puede ser un pasaporte estadounidense, puede ser una residencia, puede ser un número de seguridad social y todos estos documentos se obtienen a través de un proceso de inmigración. Puede ser ciudadanía, puede ser el ajuste de estatus, puede ser que tú hayas recibido la acción diferida, puede ser que tengas DACA. Lo que esto nos enseña es que se va a ir poniendo complicado y sabemos que muchos de nuestros clientes lo que quieren es viajar, es conocer, pero también quieren estar con su familia. Muchos viajan a la frontera para que su familia cruce y puedan tener un día juntos. Muchos están mandando por primera vez a sus hijos a la universidad, pero quizás se van a ir a otro estado. Entonces, con el precio de la gasolina, como está, empezamos a quedarnos sin opciones para hacer esto. Entonces, este no es el tiempo de dejar de lado si uno puede arreglar. Estas cosas, estas tendencias se van a seguir presentando y no queremos que usted se quede sin la oportunidad de vivir libre. Si usted tiene la oportunidad de obtener un beneficio de inmigración, hoy es el día para hacerlo. Queremos aquí en New Frontier que usted viva bien y viva libre.
Sí, vive libre y llamar ahora porque we're here, estamos aquí, te ayuda todos los días, 24/7, and for all my English-speaking homies, I just said, call us because we're here to help you. This is our phone number, and we answer our phones 24/7, 365, and we're here to help you. We're here to help you in unconventional ways because you live an unconventional life. So let's do this.
Exacto, entonces este es nuestro teléfono del que están viendo ahora, queremos ayudarte en una manera creativa, en una manera en la que tú te habías imaginado, porque eso es lo que te mereces. Vives, eres una persona extremadamente valiente, viniste a este país a construir una vida con la que soñaste, entonces vamos a llevarte al siguiente paso, vamos a darte esa libertad que estás buscando y cuidemos que este tipo de cosas no detengan tu vida aquí, no separen a tu familia, aún dentro de los Estados Unidos. Por favor, llámanos, estamos muy emocionados de ayudarte.
Gracias. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Gracias, abogada. Cuídense todos. Gracias por sus preguntas.